Everyone thinks the future belongs only to AI stocks. But while the world is distracted chasing hype, billionaires are quietly buying something completely different. Land, energy, cash-flowing assets, real businesses. And some of these assets are selling cheaper today than they were years ago. The scary part? Most normal people won't notice what's happening until the prices explode again. Because history repeats itself. The biggest wealth transfers happen when the crowd is looking in the wrong direction. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. Look at the stock market today. A small group of tech companies is carrying almost the entire market. Remove them, and the picture suddenly looks weak. That's why smart money is moving quietly into neglected assets before everyone else wakes up. Old media. Let's start with something nobody expected. Old media. Local newspapers. Old magazines. Small TV stations. Most people think these businesses are dying. But here's what people miss. In a world filled with AI-generated content, trust becomes incredibly valuable. These companies already have loyal audiences built over decades. Some own archives, footage, brands, and intellectual property worth millions in the right hands. And because everyone thinks they're outdated, many are selling for insanely cheap prices. Office buildings. Office space became one of the most hated investments after COVID. Buildings emptied out. Prices crashed. Investors panicked. But smart investors love panic. Because panic creates discounts. Some office buildings lost almost half their value. Now think about this carefully. Construction of new office buildings is collapsing. At the same time, companies are slowly returning, AI startups are expanding aggressively, and cities are converting offices into apartments, medical spaces, and tech hubs. The market hated offices so much, it accidentally created opportunity. International property. Now here's where things get interesting. In many countries, American dollars still have massive power. A small apartment in the US might cost $500,000. But internationally? That same money could buy luxury property, rental income, and a far better lifestyle. Cities across Europe, Asia, and Latin America are still undervalued compared to major US markets. And wealthy investors know something important. The best returns usually come before global attention arrives. Farmland. Now let's talk about one of the quietest billionaire assets on earth. Farmland. Bill Gates has been buying it aggressively. Large institutions are doing the same. Why? Because no matter what happens, people still need food. Farmland is different from flashy investments. It produces income. It protects against inflation. And over time, it becomes more valuable as populations grow and land becomes scarce. Most people ignore farmland because it sounds boring. But boring assets quietly create serious wealth. Commodities. Here's something almost nobody talks about. AI needs physical resources. Massive amounts of them. Copper, uranium, energy, timber, gold. Every electric vehicle needs copper. Every data center needs power. Every AI system needs infrastructure. And while everyone chased technology stocks, many of the materials powering that technology stayed surprisingly undervalued. REITs. Most people hear REITs and instantly think boring real estate. But some REITs own casinos, data centers, cell towers, massive entertainment properties, even critical infrastructure. And many are still trading below the value of the actual properties they own. That means investors are getting real assets, sometimes at discounts, while collecting cash flow through dividends at the same time. Bonds. For years, bonds were basically ignored. Interest rates were low. Returns were weak. But now, things changed. Suddenly, government bonds and corporate bonds are paying meaningful yields again. while millions of people leave cash sitting in bank accounts losing value to inflation. Others are locking in steady returns with far lower risk. Energy. Now here's the part most people don't want to admit. The world still runs on oil, gas, and energy infrastructure. And AI is making energy demand explode. Data centers require insane amounts of electricity. Electric vehicles need charging infrastructure. Entire industries are competing for power. Which means energy companies, the same companies many people ignored, are becoming critically important again. Healthcare. Healthcare stocks got destroyed recently. Bad news, investigations, lawsuits, political pressure. And investors panicked. But smart money watches fear carefully. Because healthcare isn't optional. People will always need medicine, hospitals, insurance, treatment. Some major healthcare companies are now trading far cheaper than normal historical levels. Cybersecurity. And then there's cybersecurity. AI is making scams, hacking, and digital attacks more dangerous than ever before. Governments, banks, airlines, companies. Everyone is becoming a target. Which means cybersecurity may become one of the most important industries of the next decade. International stocks. For years, US stocks dominated the world. But now international markets are quietly catching up. Some foreign companies are cheaper, pay stronger dividends, and have healthier valuations. Smart investors are starting to diversify globally, because putting everything into one overheated market can become dangerous. Peptides. And finally, peptides. Most people only recently heard about drugs like Ozempic. But insiders believe that was just the beginning. The next generation of peptides could completely transform weight loss, recovery, anti-aging, and human performance. And right now, the average person still has no idea how massive this industry could become. Ending. The biggest opportunities usually look uncomfortable at first. That's why most people miss them. By the time the headlines become positive, the smart money is already rich. And today, while the world keeps staring at the same crowded trades, billionaires are quietly positioning themselves for what comes next. The only question is, will you notice early enough?